Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Tom Coleman, and today we're going to go over the 5 biggest mistakes that I see marketing agencies make. And make sure you stick around for number 5 because it actually goes against everything that you've probably heard and is actually quite the opposite to what you've probably heard. So make sure you stay around for that. So to get straight into it, point number 1, methods of client acquisition. And what I mean by this is not just focusing on one method. I see so many people that they hear they have to cold call. They're no good at cold calling. They phone 20, 30, 40 businesses, don't get anywhere, and then that's it. They give up. But what you have to understand is that cold calling is just one very small tool in a huge toolbox that you've got access to. So personally, my favorite is LinkedIn, for example. I've gained most of my clients from LinkedIn, in fact. Another one, you've got cold email. An even bigger one is to gain referrals from either clients you already have or people you know, family members, friends, etc. that might know a local business owner. So make sure you're not just focusing on one method such as cold calling, because not everyone's good at cold calling. You might be better at setting up cold emails. You might be better at sending people from a cold email through a funnel and gaining them as a client that way. So don't focus on just one method. Make sure that you try every single thing and even try to think outside the box. These aren't the only ways that you can do it. There's so many different ways. Obviously, networking is another one. One that not many people speak about, if you've got the confidence to do it, is to speak at events. If you can get up in front of an audience of 100 business owners and pitch them all at once, then obviously you're going to have much better results than cold calling a business one by one. So this is another great way of doing things. Number 2 is referrals. And referrals should be a massive part of your marketing strategy for your agency, because the key point to referrals is that they take, on your behalf, they take no selling at all. And the reason for that, because if you think about it, the client that you already have sells for you. Because when they speak to their buddy who's a business owner and tells them about this fantastic service that you've been offering, the extra revenue that you've brought into their business, that's the selling done for you. So quite often what will happen is they will get in touch with you, so you don't even have to reach out to anyone. You set up a meeting or perhaps a phone call, and like we've said, there's no selling involved, and you can get them signed up. What I like to do, and actually the ways that I've gained one of my biggest clients, is to also offer a commission basis to my clients. So make sure when you do this, you don't come across as desperate. I normally say something like, I'm actually looking to take on a few new clients. Do you have any friends or know anyone within your industry that could benefit from my services? And if you find anyone, then I can offer you a commission basis to bring those new clients on board. And what you'll find is that they'll be more than happy because they'll already have contacts that they can reach out to. They're making money from it because they're going to get the commission, and they know that your service is good because they use it themselves. So this is a very, very important way of gaining new clients. And as I say, one of my biggest clients actually came through a referral system, and all I had to do for that was to reach out to him, had a quick chat, asked him if he knew anyone within his industry, which he did. And I said to him, if you can bring anyone on board, then I will give you £500 per client that signs up. And within that month, he had actually reached out to somebody he knew. We'd had a chat on the phone and he was happy to move forward. And it was literally as easy as that. That was how I gained my biggest client. Number 3 is definitely something that you would have heard of before, and there's very good reason why everyone mentions this, and that is to take action. It's very, very easy to take on board all this information. You keep taking it in, and then you don't actually end up doing anything because you think you need to carry on learning more and more. But the best way to do this is to actually learn on the job. Get enough information to get you started so you know what you're doing, and then after that just dive straight in, because the more you hang around, the worse it will become. And take it from me, you will never know everything. There will always be something that will pop up that you won't know, and you'll have to tackle it head on as you go. So it's just literally impossible to learn everything. So don't think you have to do that. It's much, much more important to just take action and get on with it. Point number 4 actually kind of carries on from the last one, and that is something that we call IPAs. And it's very important to be focusing on these, because IPAs are income producing activities. And what this means is that you should only be focusing on the things within your agency that will directly produce income. So for example, when we're sat there and we're doing hours and hours of research, you need to think to yourself and ask yourself, do you genuinely believe that what you're doing is going to produce an income for your business directly? And the answer to that most of the time is no, it won't. We've all been guilty of it. Again, like I said, it carries on from the last one, because we think we need to learn all this information. And actually, really, if we're being honest with ourselves, it's not helping in any way at all. So all you need to remember is that every time you find yourself wandering down that path of analysis paralysis, as they call it, just take a step back and think to yourself, is this something that I need to be doing to move forward? And if the answer is no, bring yourself back on track and make sure that you are focusing on income producing activities. Right, now it's time for the big one. Number 5 is scalability. And what I mean by scalability is, you've probably heard it time and time again, that you're going to need to hustle your way through. You're going to have to keep grinding and put in all that work to build your agency up. And whilst that is very true, you are going to have to work hard, and you are going to have to knuckle down, keep your head down and keep going. I hear it time and time again that if it takes you 200, 400, even 500 cold calls, for example, to gain your first client, then that's what it takes. You have to just keep going and battle through. But what I don't see people thinking about is, that might have gained you your first client, but what are you going to do when it comes to your second client, your third client, your fourth, fifth client? Are you going to carry on having to make 500 phone calls just to gain one client? And the answer to that is obviously no. You will get very bored and very annoyed with that very quickly. You need to find a way to scale your business in a sustainable way. It has to be doable. And this is why we need to put procedures in place so we can scale our business. So for each person, this is different. For you, you might find that you are very good at cold emails, and you work out that you can blast these cold emails out. You can use software to put a campaign in place, and you leave that campaign running, and you know that that campaign will keep producing leads for your business, and then you in turn can convert those leads. That is putting a procedure in place and a system so that you can scale. And it's not just cold email. You might be good at cold calls, for example. So if you can make cold calls and you can convert on average, say, every 50 calls, then you will be able to scale that. So again, you've got a system in place. It's all well and good getting that first client, but after that first client, you need to be thinking about the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Otherwise, you don't have a business. You can't keep going on forever with that one client, because if something happens and that client ends up dropping your service, you're then back to square one and you have no business. You have to have a way within your business to scale, so just keep that in mind. So for a quick recap, that's not relying on one method of client acquisition. Focus on the clients you already have in order to gain those all-important referrals, which will scale your business fast. Is to take action was the third. And like I said, you would have heard this before, but for good reason, because it is very important and it's very easy to get into not doing that, but you have to take action. Then we had the IPAs, the income producing activities. So again, don't waste your time when you think you're being productive, but actually if you really break it down and think about it, you know you're not, because what you're doing is not taking your business forward. And the big one was number 5, which is scalability, that you have to remember you need to be looking past that first client, and do you have a system in place to scale? And that system needs to be right for you. You may be good at cold calling and that's part of your system. You may be good at cold email. You may be good at networking. It doesn't matter, but the system has to be right for you, and it has to allow you to scale your business to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, 20th client. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because there will be more of this on the way, and I'm sure it'll help you learn more to scale your marketing company and take your business forward. Thanks, guys.